Welcome to our weekly reading where we explore all things astrological. From our two different points of view in two different locations in the world, we bring to you a unique astrological perspective on what is happening right now across the globe. So here we go. Hi everybody, this is Diana in LA and Cary in the UK, and we're here to talk about this week's stars. Here we are on December 5th, Saturday, starting off this weekend with a kind of sweet spot. We have beautiful alignments between Neptune and Venus, the Moon, the Sun, and Mars making a grand trine on this day. So enjoy this weekend because it promises to be a beautiful harbinger of what will be. As the week unfolds, of course, it begins to get intense towards the end again, like every single week this year practically starts on Thursday. And so during this little bit of a reprieve that we've got, a little window to the light, take advantage of your meditation practice, take advantage of your intuition, journal, check in with yourself a lot, because those insights that you get during the beginning of this week will be very helpful as we move towards the end of it. I also wanted to mention that as we are getting closer to the solstice, which is December 21st, a Monday, there's going to be many celebrations around the world, as there always is, for the true new year, December 21st, when the sun moves into 0 degrees Capricorn. And watch our pages to become aware of what our offerings will be as we get nearer to that, because I'll be offering a solstice meditation, and there'll be many, many all around the world, because this solstice is particularly significant, as you've been hearing us talk for all these months and months and months about Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Capricorn. And on December 21st, they move forward into 0 degrees Aquarius. And they start to break that stellium up from Pluto, and Pluto will then be acting alone, only by itself, while Jupiter and Saturn begin to move on. It's going to be a whole new ballgame as that occurs. But meanwhile, this week, Cary, as we enter it, what are you noticing from your part of the world?
Hi everybody, hope you're well. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. In ancient times, that was all about the anointing of kings. It was significant, very significant aspect. So in a way, it's the start of something really good happening. And in order for something really good to happen, there's going to be a few challenges along the way. So we've got Jupiter and Saturn together. As you said, when it comes to the winter solstice, they both align together, conjunct in Aquarius, which is the start of something wonderful. But in the meantime, we've got some lovely aspects happening this week, as you said. Near the end of the week, Mars begins to challenge the stellium for the last time. So it's going to be a little bit tough for the next couple of weeks. I mean, I've noticed in the news recently that in LA, people are now being put into lockdown. This is significant when Mars begins to square that stellium. But it's going to be a good week, start of a really good week for most of us. And at the end of the week, it's going to be slightly challenging, but there's some lovely aspects to alleviate the harshness of Mars squaring the stellium. When we're looking at the stellium and the people that it's affecting, it's people who are born in Capricorn between the 9th and the 13th of January. The other people who will feel it, and there'll be good and bad aspects being quite challenging, are people born in Aries between the 9th and the 14th. And anybody who's a fire sign, born on their birth month between the 9th and the 14th, will feel these quite dramatically. And I've mentioned this before, but the planets are actually at those degrees which are represented by those birth dates. So anybody who's got their sun at 23 degrees Capricorn will be born on the 12th of January. So anyone on the 12th of January, 2 or 3 degrees either side, will feel that quite strongly and will have been feeling this for, all year. People with their sun in Aries, who are born between the 9th and the 12th, will be feeling both, because it's been quite challenging for people with their sun there in Aries, but there's been some fantastic aspects to alleviate the heaviness of the square of that planet, of the stellium to the sun. So the other sign, which would also be very affected by the stellium, will be anybody who's got their planets in Libra. And again, it will be the 9th of October to the 14th of October. So most people who are born on their birth dates between the 9th and the 14th in Earth and in fire will be feeling the effects of the stellium and the transits to the stellium very strongly.
Right, and it's interesting that you say that, Cary, because I've been looking at a lot of charts lately, and some of my students or co-workers that I've been looking at their charts, Aries and Capricorn particularly, feeling this whole year very stymied, kind of stuck, can't move. And even though I'm thinking of a few people I know in those degrees of Aries that are trying to move forward and they just can't, yet though, yet. You're gonna move like an arrow released soon. But in this whole year, in a way, has been frustrating in the sense that in as much as we want to move forward, Capricorn likes to go forward. It's ambitious. It moves up. It makes the next step. Aries always is moving forward just because it does, right? And you kind of can't. You're tethered, But pretty soon there's going to be a beautiful release, and you're going to feel free. And in a way, all that tension of that pullback is going to be released, and you're going to feel like you can finally move again. So you have that to look forward to.
Yeah. And that also goes for anybody who's got their moon in Capricorn around those degrees, because they've been feeling it as well. What's alleviating the Mars squaring the stellium is Venus sextiling the stellium. So Mars is giving this negative pressure, and Venus is making it relax a little bit. So yes, it's going to be tough, but I think we're over the hardest times now with this stellium. But it's just going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but there's some wonderful aspects.
Right, and the interesting thing is, as we were talking about this big fat T-square on Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday, influencing Friday, it's really just with the moon. The moon is making the T-square, so the moon moves very quickly, right? So it's staying in that stellium T-square just for some hours. But what that means is big news that is jarring. Moon square Pluto. Moon oppose Mars, Mars square Pluto. It's volatile again. And so this energy that's been building and building, and thank goodness for the very last time now, finishing as it's been squaring the stellium over and over through the year, this is the last one. So whatever happens now, to me, it feels like the peak point, right? We're at the peak point, and we are literally at the peak point when we're talking about Corona, and we're talking about even world events in our election cycle here in the United States and other places too. We are absolutely at healing crisis maximum, right? And so if you can just get through this weekend, and it's not going to be over exactly, because then there's going to be the fallout of that during the next couple of weeks more, but it's sort of at its apex. And if you can sort of just ride with this thing, you will come out the other side. We will come out the other side better for it, because the end of this cycle with the stellium is almost over. And by December 21st, that it breaks, and we begin to move into the first steps into the age of Aquarius.
What you were saying about the stellium in Aquarius with Saturn and Jupiter on the winter solstice, One of our friends on this astrocast, Suzanne, pointed out that there's going to be a solar flare which could affect communications on the planet. Apparently, this also happened on the 11th of November. So this is quite a significant conjunction. So it's got the winter solstice is going to be a very significant day.
The sun in a solar flare, to my mind, is like a big cosmic exclamation point. On top of all of these things that are happening, there's this from the sun, right? And the sun is the heart of our galaxy. And so it's sending a big burst of energy through and to. Often solar flares are considered negative things because they disrupt potentially the satellite signals and things like that. But mainly they don't. And more it's just nature, right? It's the sun flaring. But I love that, it's something like that we can actually time it out by the time it reaches the earth, right? We're experiencing that exclamation point from the sun, which is the heart, the love of our own galaxy.
So that winter solstice is something for us to look forward to because it is the start of something really wonderful. But with regards to what's happening this week, at the end of the week, we've got Mars getting closer to the stellium, but on Friday, Sun trines Mars exact. In fact, it trines it exact twice this week. But on Friday, it will be at 20 degrees. So for anybody born on the 9th, if anyone's got their birthday on the 9th of April or the 9th of December or the 9th of August, you're going to feel this quite strongly. It's going to be a really good day. So although the undercurrent is with Mars challenging the stellium, there's some very nice aspects happening this week.
Yes, with a big bang on Thursday and Friday. But then by Saturday, there's relief in sight. Sun is still trining Mars. The moon and Venus come together on Saturday next. And in Scorpio, sextiling the stellium in a beautiful, multi-layered, gorgeous sextile. So we should be feeling really good about things, hopeful, happy, even relief, like everything, whatever happens Thursday and Friday. Saturday, there's like it's going to be okay. So it's a lot of intensity over that Thursday and Friday. And it doesn't mean that necessarily it's related to what happened Saturday, but somehow on Saturday, things start to level out again and actually get harmonious. So it'll be a good week. I think it's just going to be, we are going through a rite of passage in our world. The whole world is doing it together. We're all going through at least Corona together and the American election. Those two things and other places are having other problems, from Africa to Australia to London and England. Every place is having their version of what we're talking about here. And so it is a rite of passage. We are birthing something new, and it is a beautiful thing. And so even though as in all births, it comes with contractions, we are in the contraction time. But in December, in the middle of December, at the 21st, there's going to be a new view that we're going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. This has been a time, and this whole year, and it's an interesting thing esoterically. We've been talking about this time for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so this whole period between 2019, 2020, all the way up to like 2024, by 2025, a new decision will have been made about how we evolve as a humanity.
What I find very interesting is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on Sunday coincides a very important date in the UK calendar, because this is the day where they have supposed to have made a decision on the UK working with Europe. And all this week, there's been challenges on that front, and even today, they still haven't reached agreement. And it may be that they don't reach agreement, which has tremendous repercussions for the United Kingdom, and that is a Mars squaring stellium type of moment for the UK. In the United States, the coronavirus is the Mars squaring stellium, and what's been going on politically as well, as you pointed out, is also symptomatic of that. And the new president coming in has a very different view to what the United Kingdom should be doing with regards to Ireland, and that's the sticking point, and that's Mars squaring the stellium, which is threatening the UK's foundations. So the next couple of weeks is a very important time for the UK, for the United States, and actually for everybody.
Right. And we can do this. We are doing this. We're going to get through it, and it's going to get better. And we're just still in the middle of something. We're not done yet, but it is going in a direction towards the healing of our world. And so on this day of beautiful Grand Trine, Saturday, December 5th, with the sun, Mars, and the moon beautifully trining, and Venus trining Neptune, where our dreams can come true on this day. Meditate, stay centered, keep yourself buoyant to the changes that are happening around you, and we can't wait to see you next week with another report from our Astrocast. And we love to hear your questions and thoughts, so feel free to write us an email or check in whatever way, because we love to hear back from you. So we'll see you next week with another report from Diana in LA and Cary in the UK.
Bye everybody, stay safe.